Hi, my name is Eleanor. I also go by Elle, and I am here to pitch you a new show that I've decided to call It's Always Sunny in Puerto Rico. Taking inspiration from the show It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, a show where 5 people try to get rich off their bar in Philadelphia, but they always sabotage themselves due to their greed. It's Always Sunny in Puerto Rico follows a group of government officials and everyone's favorite, not at all oppressed, vacation destination, Puerto Rico. These 5 efficient leaders are always trying to make Puerto Rico a better place and, maybe earn $1 or $2 in the process. There are no ulterior motives in their schemes at all, and the fact that everything they do seems to backfire surely doesn't reflect on their abilities at all. Some of the episodes follow that time where they accidentally released an emu in suburban Puerto Rico and spent days trying to capture it. The time they thought it would be a great idea to convert public schools into private apartments, and that time they tried to privatize a beach by building a wall around it. People tore it down with sledgehammers. As you may have guessed, these are things that have all happened in Puerto Rico in the past few years. These plans are so ridiculous and so unbelievably selfish that when you hear these stories, you can't help but laugh. Through the satire, it's impossible not to see the greed in the heart of each one of these stories. Well, except maybe the emu one. I don't really have an answer for that one. The twist is that each of these examples are real-life things that have happened in the past few years. These are all attempts to exploit the people of the island and the natural resources there. My family on my mother's side is Puerto Rican, and they've lived there for generations. My mother was born and raised there, and leaving for college, Wellesley, was her first time moving away from the island. My abuela and the rest of my extended family remain on the island. During the last few years in particular, my family has been ravaged by tragedy after tragedy, the most devastating of which being Hurricane Maria and the death of my grandfather that followed. Sometimes being in this position of a semi-Puerto Rican U.S. transplant can be difficult. My friends in the U.S. never really grasp the severity of the political situation in Puerto Rico, and my family on the island don't really consider me to be full Puerto Rican. I found that whenever I try to explain the Puerto Rican political situations to my friends here, it's hard to get them to understand fully. Partially, it's out of their control. If they visited the island and San Juan and many other spots in Puerto Rico, they're all carefully designed to mask the situation from mainlanders. Even if they try to listen, they're battling with what they were taught, that statehood is a blessing. The reality is much more complicated than that. Puerto Rico's relationship to the United States is very much one of that of colony. Corrupt government officials get elected because of their connection to the states. A few years ago, the electrical grid was privatized, and now the island is without consistent electricity. Law 22, a law that means people don't have to pay federal income taxes on their property in Puerto Rico, encourages rich transplants from the U.S. to move to the island, use up their resources, and not give anything back to the community. How do you get people to care, to understand, when every piece of the news is layered with oppression, all connected and all hard to navigate? The solution is comedy. In Puerto Rico and many other similar marginalized communities, comedy is the tool of the oppressed. It is the one thing that the oppressors cannot take away. It is spirit. If you lay down and give up everything that the government did to hurt you, you'd be on the ground forever. So, Puerto Ricans point and laugh. We find the joy, the hilarity, the reason to continue in the face of government that wants to destroy us. They dance around in the street after hurricanes, turn protests into parties. By bringing the humor out in the situation, you not only give yourself a reason to keep going, but you take the power out of the hands of the oppressors. The power is in the hands of the people, and you cannot stop them from laughing at you. So, how does this apply to you, people of the mainland? Well, not everybody can navigate the economic oppression of Puerto Rico, but everybody can laugh when a villain trips over their own cape. You may not understand every piece of backstory as to why it's so unjust when people try to privatize public beaches, but you can cheer when the people take it back for themselves. By laughing, you allow yourself to become connected to these issues, to put yourself in the shoes of the people fighting back against injustice. By laughing at oppression, even if you don't fully realize that it is oppression, you are taking the first step. Something inside of you is seeing that what's happening is wrong, that it's unfair, that the situation presented is crazy and shouldn't exist in the form it does. By laughing, you allow yourself to care. Laughter is the first step, but hopefully shared laughter between people leads to empathy, which leads to change. Thank you.